Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Ron Cook in just a couple minutes, and we're talking about a huge win for the Penguins tonight at PPG. Tristan Jarry, 17 saves. He only faced 17 shots, made all of them. He was perfect tonight. His third shutout in 4 games, his third shutout this season. And is there a goalie controversy right now going on at the Penguins? I think there could potentially be. He's been the guy right now for the Penguins. I want to hear what Ron Cook has to say. We'll hear from him, and I want to hear from you guys. Also, the Steelers, some news over on the south side. Juju Smith-Schuster left practice early. His status is up in the air now. He was a full participant yesterday. He was limited today, left practice, like I said. And, we're going to hear from him tomorrow. He wasn't available after practice today, but we were told that he'll be available after practice tomorrow. That's if he practices. So tomorrow's a really good indicator of whether he's going to play or not on Sunday. If he's doubtful, or obviously if he's out, he's going to be out. But I don't think under Tomlin anyone that has been listed as doubtful has ever played, Ron. There was some excitement around Pittsburgh yesterday that Juju might be coming back for that game. But I feel like now, I don't know. After today, I feel like this is probably headed in the direction of not
I was more
playing.
surprised that he practiced yesterday. I think I heard you say that you were in the group that he told last week that he hopes to be back late in the season, hopefully for the playoffs. I didn't think he would be playing this week, so I was surprised when he went full yesterday, and I'll be surprised if he practices tomorrow and plays. Connor's had 2 days of work in full practice. Looks like he'll be okay to go. I'll be surprised if Juju plays.
Yeah, I'll be real surprised. And actually, he just offered that up. I asked him a question about being frustrated, watching, sitting on the sidelines, if he's ever done that before. And he talked about it a little bit, but then he got into it by saying, hey, I'm week to week. I'm hoping that I'll be able to play before the postseason.
Right.
It's not like,
Didn't say I'm going to play next Sunday.
Yeah, so I kind of took that as like, maybe would see him against the Jets or against Baltimore. I think I'm down on him playing this Sunday. But I do think James Conner will play. But I'm interested, Ron, to know how they're going to utilize all these backs right now, because Benny Snell's been pretty good.
Well, if Connor's ready, I go with him. But, I don't think he has to get 30 carries. And I don't know that he's going to be able to hold up. He came back with that shoulder injury and didn't make a quarter. And then was done again. His style is what we love and what makes him successful. He runs over people, but if you have a bad shoulder, that can get banged up again real quickly. I don't know if they can count on him. I certainly, if he's cleared and ready to go, I play him. But I think you're going to see a lot of Snell. You'll see some of Edmonds, White. You'll see all kind of guys back there.
Do you like that? Do you like using
Yeah,
those?
I'm okay with that. It's unlike Tomlin, who's always had a philosophy of running the wheels off of these guys, but I don't know that he can do that with any of them. Snell's still finding his way and, getting better, you hope, on blitz pickups and that kind of stuff. But Connor, just his injury track record is not good.
Gareth White, what's your opinion on him right now?
Boy, he can run. He's fast, but, Tomlin, didn't dodge the question about how almost he's a one-trick pony. He's going to go wide or use his speed. He doesn't have to catch the ball out of the backfield. He doesn't have to block. And they're not going to put him in a position where Duck's future is at stake if he misses a block.
Couple one-trick ponies that I can remember. Willie Parker was probably one of them, right? He got better running inside, though, the more he played.
Right. Well, he could catch the ball and block. You have to be able to pick up blitzes to protect your quarterback if you're going to get the bulk of a running back. And I think Connor early on struggled with that his first year, but I think he's gotten much better at it, and that's why you feel comfortable with him out there most downs.
Boy, I was wrong. I thought for sure we would see Rudolph as a starter at some point. I thought this Duck fever, Duck mania was going to end.
Well,
but right now it could, but I don't foresee them going to Rudolph unless it just is a complete disaster.
Yeah, I think the Duck has earned it to right that he gets more than just a bad quarter, for instance. He started slow in just about all of these games, and if he starts slow again, I can't see them making a move anytime before the second half. Almost like Rudolph, in the Cincinnati game when he was so bad, and then they pulled him after one series in the third quarter. I don't think Duck is going to be on a short rope.
All right, we got to take a break. We need to hear from you guys. 412-575-2600. A couple phone lines open, so give us a call on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel. Back in a couple moments.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.